Dream Team. It's your boy D Neal back with another reaction video, guys. Here we are with a new sports documentary, The Brady Six: Journey of the Legend No One Wanted. Before we dive into this, make sure you subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell, give the video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon and drop it in the comment section. What we got, Tom?
Can you name the guys who were picked ahead of you, Tom?
The quarterbacks, Chad Pennington was picked in the first round. Chris Redman was picked in the third round. Giovanni Carmazzi was picked in the third round, I think. T. Martin was picked in the fifth round. Spurgeon Wynn was picked. There was one other guy, small school guy, Mark Bolger.
In the 2000 NFL Draft, a quarterback who would become one of the best of all time was available. He wasn't the highest rated. He wasn't the best athlete. He didn't have the best numbers, win a championship, have the best mechanics, or the strongest arm. And he wasn't selected until pick number 199.
Dang.
Tom Brady went in the 6th round, and 6 quarterbacks were taken ahead of him.
Can you believe that? Pick 199, Tom Brady. That's insane to think about. Insane.
Tom, what do you think makes a good ball player?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Tom Brady knew as much then as experts will tell you now. It's not easy to identify good players, and even harder to predict NFL quarterbacks.
I
When
feel that.
a coach or a scout tells you that this guy has the intangibles, or we're looking for the intangibles, that's a euphemism for saying we have no clue what we're looking for, we just know it when we see it.
You know, you have these guys in college, and yeah, they have the ability to stand back there in the pocket and throw it to this guy who's open by 10 yards. Okay, do they have the same ability to stand back in that pocket when a guy's hitting them and throw it to a guy that's open by 1 yard? Can you do it when the speed's faster? Can you do it when you're getting hit by somebody bigger? Can you do it when the defense you're seeing is more complex? Nobody knows until they actually get there.
Tom Brady reads defenses better than any quarterback I know right now.
It's not easy. Tom Brady wasn't something that happens every year.
That's a good point. It's hard, yeah. It'd be very difficult to analyze if a player can play at the next level, like, because you can only judge them from what they did in college. You can't judge them against like actual NFL talent. So it'd be hard.
You're not going to find that 6th round quarterback who becomes a Hall of Famer. It just isn't going to happen.
For a future Hall of Famer, Brady's early life in football was a constant struggle for recognition.
I'd like to introduce my starting quarterback from this past season, Tom Brady. If any colleges or coaches are interested in seeing more of Tom, we have a whole list of past plays that you can sort of look over the 10-game period of last season.
I never played football until my freshman year, and as a freshman,
Oh, wow.
I was the backup quarterback on a team that was 0-8.
The team didn't score a
Oh,
touchdown,
wow.
and he wasn't deemed good enough to play one offensive play as a quarterback.
The only reason why I played my sophomore year was because the kid who was the freshman quarterback stopped playing, because I'm not playing football anymore. So I was like, I guess I'm going to play. And
They said that I was the backup quarterback on a freshman team for a team that went 0-8. He wasn't good enough for a team that didn't score one touchdown to play quarterback. One play. That's
I had a
insane.
decent arm, but I just really took to the game.
Brady never developed into a blue-chip recruit, but he caught the attention of the maize in blue. The University of Michigan opened its doors to him.
There were 7 guys on the depth chart when I got there. Scott Dreisbach, who was the year ahead of me. Brian Greasy, who was the year ahead of that. Jason Carr was going into his 5th year. Scott Loeffler was this highly recruited quarterback out of Ohio. I remember being out there the first day of practice and being like, man, I'm better than these guys. Now, of course, I wasn't, but that was always my attitude.
Come on, Brady and Gracie, hurry up!
By his sophomore season, Brady was pushing number 14, senior Brian Greasy, for the starting job.
Greasy
and Tommy were tied. I mean, they were neck and neck. No one knew who was going to start, and Coach Carr's thing was always the tie goes to the upperclassmen. I remember Tommy being a little, mad about that, and thought about transferring, and thought about going back home to Cal or something like that.
He came back the next day. He sat down right in front of my desk, and he said, "Coach, I'm not going to leave, and I'm going to prove to you that I'm the best quarterback." There's no question, as I looked into his eyes, he had a goal in mind, and he was not going to be denied.
In his junior year, Brady started every game and won 10 of his final 11.
Dang.
But to remain the starter his senior season, he would have to fend off sophomore Drew Henson. Before even coming to Michigan, Henson was a state hero, a two-sport phenom for a high school 20 miles outside of Ann Arbor.
Oh, wow.
He probably was the most highly touted athlete to come to Michigan, at least in my memory.
You know, he has incredible talents. I mean, faster than I was, stronger, quicker, more elusive, better arm.
This guy has, they say, can't miss written all over him. Lloyd Carr said, "I've never been around a guy that has this much potential."
At the start of Brady's senior season, the tight quarterback battle did not automatically go to the upperclassmen.
Who's our starting quarterback? What time's the game? 3:30? You'll see then.
Coach Carr said all the time, you're going to start the games. Drew's going to play the second quarter games, and then we're going to decide, who plays after that. He thought he had two good quarterbacks, wanted to play them both, and he said he was going to go with the hot hand.
We had a chance to talk to some NFL personnel, and this one director of player personnel said he understood why Michigan is continuing to try to give Henson more and more opportunities to go out there and get experience, because his upside is so much higher than Tom Brady's. And I said, yeah, but Brady's the guy with the experience. He's the captain. 10 wins last year. He said, yeah, but if he doesn't play Henson, he's got a problem, because then Henson's going to go and he's going to go play baseball.
Tommy was a clear cut. He was the captain of that team. He was the leader of the team, and he was the best quarterback on that team, bar none. Ask any guy on that team.
With Carr juggling the quarterbacks, Michigan won its first 5 games.
Dang.
Against Michigan State, the Wolverines got in a 17-point hole with Henson, and Brady was asked to dig them out of it.
Pump fake going to the corner. Terrell is open. Touchdown, Michigan.
Brady threw for 241 yards in the final 18 minutes.
God dang.
Brought Michigan back. After a 307-yard performance the following week, the quarterback competition was over.
Brady really separated himself the way he played. And that's when I decided Brady was going to be the quarterback and Drew was going to be the backup.
Yeah.
Against Penn State, Michigan trailed by 10 in the final minutes.
Miller's open, reaches for the touchdown, Michigan.
And the legend of the comeback kid was born.
Oh my.
Touchdown, Tom Brady.
Golden.
Leads the Wolverines back.
There's no greater
Look at
leader
that.
in intercollegiate athletics than Tom Brady. He's handled.
Look
what's
at that.
difficult. A coach.
Oh, he put it right there on the money.
Decision this year in a way that only enhanced his stature among his teammates and all those people who love Michigan.
Brady's finest collegiate performance was still to come. The Orange Bowl.
It's the last time I'd take the field as a Wolverine. We got down in the game 14-0 and came back and tied it 14-14. We got down 28-14 in the second half. Came back and made it 28-28. We went to overtime, and I ran a bootleg and threw it to Sean Thompson.
Sets up, fires across the middle. His tight end's got it. Sean Thompson, touchdown.
They scored. 35-34, and they kicked the extra point and missed the extra point. We went in overtime.
Make no mistake, Tom Brady carried us through that game.
The Alabama game, in my experience at Michigan, is as fine a performance at quarterback as anybody ever had.
We kidded you about being the comeback kid. Wow. You didn't want to have to wait till the fourth quarter to bring the team back, but you did a tremendous job.
What better way to go as a fifth-year senior as an Orange Bowl victory?
You would think Brady's achievements at Michigan would have won the admiration of pro teams looking for a quarterback in the upcoming draft.
The way he was playing, I need to see what the other quarterback numbers was. I need to see what they for him to go that low.
But it didn't happen that way. Brady's struggle for recognition continued.
I only had one call from the NFL. Bobby Greer, who was with the Patriots at the time, talked about they were going to draft a quarterback late, I just said, Bobby, I guarantee you, you will never regret drafting Tom Brady.
This is the draft report on you. Basically, it goes poor build, skinny, lacks great physical stature and strength,
lacks mobility and ability to avoid the rush, lacks a really strong arm, can't drive the ball downfield, does not throw a really tight spiral.
System-type player who can get exposed if forced to add lift.
and gets knocked down easily.
That kind of gets me fired up because I'm thinking, you know, what the hell do these people know? I mean, that sounds like Joe Montana right there.
Joe Montana. As a kid who grew up 20 minutes from Candlestick Park, that's exactly who Tom Brady wanted to be.
We used to be dyed-in-the-wool 49er fans. We loved Joe Montana, the best ever.
When I was 4 years old, my dad took me to one of the games. It was the NFC Championship game when Dallas played the Niners at home.
And he throws into the end zone.
Oh my God.
We were sitting in the end zone when Dwight Clark made the catch.
In the 2000 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers were one of the teams looking for a quarterback.
We knew all about Tom. Tom was from Sarah High School, right up the street here. At the combine, when you watched Tom, you saw this tall, gangly looking kid. Looked like having ever seen a weight room. Ran a 5'2" something.
God
One of
dang.
the slowest quarterbacks in the combine.
Yeah, 5'2".
While you throwing the ball, there were some other guys that could shoot it, and he had just an okay arm. Did his coaches at Michigan really stand on the table and say, this is the greatest thing since Joe Montana? No, not even close. They had to decide if it was he or Drew Henson. We even had a local combine in San Francisco where the kids from the local colleges or the local high schools can come by and have a workout. And Tom was there. And Bill was there. We were all there. And Tom, to be quite honest, did nothing that would say, hey, we need to draft this guy.
His 40 time and that vertical jump. In 32 years of doing this, we talked about 576 quarterbacks. He was number 576.
It's
God dang!
But fortunately for me, that
I understand why they didn't draft him. For a guy who doesn't really, I guess, show you anything spectacular that stands out about him, it would be hard to draft him. That's understandable.
that's not what quarterbacking's about either.
If you're going to go somewhere and learn a little bit about quarterbacking, you might as well go the Bill Walsh School of Quarterbacking, of which Steve Mariucci is a pretty good offensive coach in his own right. Giovanni Carmazzi, quarterback of the Flying Dutchman of Hofstra, and he's the second quarterback pick.
We had season tickets for the 49ers for 25 years, and we were just hurt. It just, we kind of took it personally, if you will.
Giovanni Carmazzi, the quarterback who was ranked second on your board behind Chad Pennington. Tell me where he fits in this current quarterback situation.
Well, he was probably the best quarterback in the draft as far as athletic ability. This is a fine athlete with a real future. We were sweating it out about the last 10 picks that somebody would take him. Then we heard later that others were just about to take him when we did. So that was one of our better choices.
We're in the draft room. It was the 5th round. We already had 3 quarterbacks at the time. We had just signed our #1 quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, for a lot of money.
How much time's left on the clock? 9 minutes and 18 seconds.
I remember Belichick walking up to the board and said, wow, this Brady's still on the board.
One of the real troubling parts was the Michigan situation, the fact that really they were trying to replace him as their starting quarterback and say, okay, they don't really want this guy as their starting quarterback. They want another guy. Well, what's the problem here? It's a little bit of a red flag there.
The Patriots' first 5 picks were number 70, tackle Adrian Clem, who started just 10 games for them in 5 seasons.
Oh, wow.
Running back J.R. Redmond, who finished his career with less than 700 rushing yards. Tackle Greg Robinson Randall, who lasted just 3 seasons with the team.
Oh,
Tight
my
end
God.
Dave Stachelsky and defensive lineman Jeff Marriott. Both never made the roster.
Wow.
And with the 199th overall pick, they selected a skinny quarterback from Michigan named Tom Brady.
There's nothing we could really do about the whole Henson situation. We just had to evaluate what we saw, and we saw Tom time and again his senior year start the game off well, and then so many times Tom would come back in and rescue the situation and pull out the win for Michigan against great competition, the biggest game. He just took his opportunities and tried to make the most out of them.
Brady made his share of rookie mistakes.
I can't stand it. Run it again. Huddle up and run it again, Brady.
But he possessed a veteran's confidence.
This skinny beanpole of a young man walked over to me and said, "Hi, Mr. Kraft. I want to introduce myself. I'm Tom Brady." I said, "I know who you are. You're our 6th-round draft choice." And I always remember he looked me like a laser, eye to eye, and he said, "That's right, and I'm the best decision this organization has ever made."
Yeah!
I called my agent and I said, "I think I want to buy a house. This is too..."
Ultimate and supreme confidence. I love it, Tom.
Weeks in the training camp. And he's like, "Are you nuts? You know, why don't you make the team first?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to make the team. Don't worry about that. But let's just make sure we get a good interest rate."
Back! All right, now push, back. Now this way, angle, push.
37 days ago, Steve Young pulled the plug on the 49ers' 20-year dynasty. From Montana and Young, we now have Garcia and Meyer. But perhaps the starter of the future is 23-year-old Giovanni Carmazzi.
You can't really set your expectations to play like Joe Montana or Steve Young, but just the fact that they considered me to be a guy who maybe someday could adequately fill those shoes, I'm very proud of that, and it's a tremendous honor.
Gio, look at me. What's the situation? What's that? What's the deal here? Right? Yeah, but what's the down and distance, and how much time do you have left? Don't look.
22 seconds, I've got it.
All right, Gio's out of bounds. 1 foot in front of the numbers, right there. Right there. That's the difference between him making 5 yards and 12 yards. Here versus here. Put it where you want it.
This kid had all the measurables. He was fast, he was athletic, he was strong, he was smart. Played at Hofstra. Well, you know, is Hofstra playing for the national championship? No, but they had a lot of good players coming out of there, okay? But it became evident, first game, preseason game, the stage was maybe a little too big. The lights might be a little bit too bright for him.
Hey, Coach.
2 days after Joe Montana was inducted into the Hall of Fame, the 49ers were hoping to see signs that Giovanni Carmazzi was the next Joe Montana.
Carmazzi under pressure. Let it be duly noted that his career begins rather ingloriously with back-to-back sacks.
The next Joe Montana was on the field that day. He just happened to play for the other team.
Oh my God!
I think we walked out of that game feeling that we had probably taken the right guy.
I'm telling you, when you get out on the field and another team wants to knock your head off, they've got to be able to handle that mentally and emotionally. And some do, some love it, and some, that makes them very nervous. And they lose some confidence. To this day, I believe that Gio, he got off on the wrong foot against the Patriots in the preseason game. And boy, I think some doubt crept in.
Carmazzi never appeared in a regular season game. And was released after 2 seasons. Brady would go on to win 3 Super Bowls, but as a rookie, he would barely make the roster as the Patriots' 4th quarterback.
The reason we didn't release him was because we felt that we didn't want to take a chance on losing him, and so we carried him as a 4th quarterback even though he never played, and it was really a wasted roster spot for the 2000 season. But we felt that Tom had enough potential if he could continue to improve, so that's why we carried him as an active player.
That's crazy, man. That's all we got for this part. If you guys got a favorite video suggestion, you can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. I'm really loving this. But it's your boy Neal. Out.